one position in a company and you put a man and you put a woman, this is literally a study, I could Google it right now, literally they will be paid at a different rate. Why? Because the woman is seen as inferior. She is not seen as an equal, because you're taking like two completely different examples, like completely different sides. I'm talking about, no, take one position in a company, man and a woman, and then decide what they get. And then when you see that difference, then come back to me and tell me how that makes sense.
Are we talking like a CEO or something like that?
No, at a company, let's say, I don't know, an annulist, like a man annulist and a woman, completely different pay, different pay.
You want to know why? There's always an explanation for it.
Okay, I want to know why.
If you're going to talk smack, then we got to peel it back a little.
You're right.
Can you educate us, please?
Men are far more likely to argue for higher wages than women are.
Why
Men
is
are
that?
less agreeable. Can you please stop cutting
I'm
me
just
off?
asking.
It's like extremely rude.
Penelope,
Like
you're-
ridiculous, dude.
You're mute right now.
Like it's like ridiculous now at this point. So I've been very patient with you too.
The chat wants
you know what I'm
Frank
saying?
Castle.
Like they want you out. The chat's been saying get her the fuck out. But I ain't gonna do that because I think these are important discussions to be had. And I think it's important. Yo, unmute her mic. She's gonna chill. So men are far more likely to argue for higher wages than women are. Men are less agreeable. Women are more agreeable. It is what it is. It's just like on a balance of probabilities, women don't want to rock the boat. That's just how women are made. They're not made to be confrontational. It's all biological, man. Like, matter of fact, when we ask you guys questions, I don't know if you guys notice this trend. One girl would say something, and then another woman would either agree with her or respectfully disagree, but say, hey, listen, but I see why you would do that. Like, that's just how women communicate. They don't want to get into confrontation. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Women aren't built for confrontation like men are. It has to do with physicality and a bunch of other biological
built for
backgrounds.
confrontation, 1,000%. And I think you guys agree with each other. The people here agreeing with you, so you can't really be like, oh, we all agree with each other because we're women. No, all these people are also agreeing with you guys.
Here's the thing. We're making these stances based on fact. Like I told you, women. There's a bunch of reasons why women get paid less than men, but that is a big reason that men tend to fight for higher wages than women do.
Because they feel like they can, because that is what women have been told their whole lives, to cross their legs, to take up less space. Like, these things literally follow you throughout your entire life. So of course, like when you have two different jobs and the woman ends up getting less because she can't argue her point, why is that?
No,
because
she can.
there's so many generational shit that's gone on. Like,
She can, but it's just that, like I said,
But she doesn't,
women are less
exactly.
likely to do it. But whose
Right.
choice is that, though?
It's a woman's choice.
See how it
You're
always goes
literally-
back to the
Am I
woman's
allowed to talk?
choice?
I don't
But
know.
it's not a choice when you literally don't even know that you're able to do something. Like, you're talking about generational, like, shit, like, psychological things that have happened to these women, you know what I mean? That, like, you think, oh, because you're saying, like, oh, it's invisible, whatever you said, where it was, like, privilege is invisible.
to those that have it.
Same thing, but flips for your end.
No,
Whatever you
because-
guys have is invisible. Whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Like, basically, whatever we have
Here's
going
the
on
thing.
is visible to you.
I'll
You
tell
don't
you
see
right
it,
now.
because you can argue.
Because there's an invisible burden of performance on men. There is not a burden of performance on women. Okay? When two men
don't understand.
meet and shake hands, first thing that's done is, what do you do for work? Men tend to define each other by careers. Women tend to define each other by families. Am I saying that's the right way to do it or whatever it is? That's just how it is. Men talk about things. Women tend to talk about people. Women are more social creatures. Men are more objective-based. Men are creators. It is what it is. The world that we live in, everything was created by men. I'm not sitting here saying men are better than women. No. What I am saying is that obviously translates into the workplace. Men are far more likely to fight for higher wages because men are looked at to be provisioners and providers, and our identity is based on how much money we earn. So yes, men are going to be less agreeable when it comes to wages. Is that the man's fault that he went into the boss's office and fought for higher wages when the woman chose not to? Like I told you.
I mean, well, hold on. We're assuming that they fought for higher wages.
That's a very tangible fact that is brought into the wage gap.
It could be one of the facts, but essentially, if the company offered two completely different packages for those people, one of them could be less for the woman than the man. So, like, I don't even know how we got to, like, oh, one of them argued more. Like, the man argued for more money.
Because you said women get paid less doing the same job, and I
Right,
told you
right.
there's a
And-
reason why.
But at the same time, like, you don't think there's ever a spot in a position, a man and woman, for an analyst, and one of them gets a higher pay than the other, like, just out the gate without arguing?
I mean, that's a possibility, but it could go both ways.
But so is yours.
But
yours is a possibility.
No, that's. But here's the difference. It is statistically shown that men are less agreeable when it comes to
Where are
arguing for
these
higher
stats?
wages.
We need to
We can talk about it. Jordan Peterson, literally, Google him. He had a 1 hour debate with a woman, a feminist columnist from the UK, where she tried to say the wage gap, and he broke it down 100% why women make less money than men on a balance of probabilities. I'm telling you, there's a burden of performance on men financially where there's not as much on women. Women are far more likely to take off work and care for their children. A bunch of women I know, anecdotal and also shown in the studies, when a woman rises through the ranks and she has children, her mindset changes. Kids come first. Fuck the career. Men are willing to sacrifice a lot of things to go to work and provide for their family. That's why the traditional family has worked so long. The man goes to work, the woman stays and nurtures the children. It is what it is. That's just the way it goes. Men, there is a invisible burden of performance on us financially. That is why men make more money. That's why we take more risk. That's why we work more hours, because men know that their value is determined by how much money they earn. Now, you can complain and sit here, men make more money than women. They do, but that's by female choice as well.
Here's the data that Trey brought up right here. So,
Hold out.
Literally pulling out numbers.
I love this.
you want to bring it up, please screenshot this, read this. It's right here. If you want to read it, it's
Like, I can't even believe, like, the wage gap has been debunked for almost 20 years now. I can't believe you're ever bringing it up.
I can't believe that you're not bringing it up and completely like goes over your head.
That's what I'm trying to say. It
we're
doesn't
like
exist.
we're like on the same level, but literally for the opposing team.
All right,
like,
so we brought up the
yeah,
data.
completely
but
I love
you're
it.
same.
But the point is, I'm not conceding on this because you're incorrect.
I think you're incorrect.
Okay.
Do you
The
think or
data's
do you
here.
know? Because I know you're incorrect.
Yeah,
I know
data's
you're
here.
incorrect too because I've seen my own data.
Okay.
This is never gonna end.
All right. Moving on.
Whatever you believe, you will
Moving on.
always find
Thank you.
evidence to back it
Correct.
up. There's
all right.
always going to
Agreed.
be studies
There
that
have
back
been
up one side or
feminists.
the other.
Fair.
And that's just how
There have been feminists that
data
have come
works.
forward. There have been feminists that have come forward and even said it that the wage gap is a lie. Everyone knows it's a lie. I can't even believe we're even having this conversation right now.
We can move on.
I mean,
But
like,
you just also said that men make more than women. So at the same time, you're like, oh, but there's a wage gap. But then you said
because the wage gap implies that women aren't being treated fairly. What I'm saying is that it's
They're
not
not.
that women aren't being treated fairly. It's that women choose to work less. Women choose to earn less money. Period. By their life choices.
Is it a choice?
There's more
or is
women
it
in
part
college
of
now.
our like role
Can you let me
as
finish,
a woman?
please? Can you let me? I was going to actually answer your question right now.
Okay.
Women choose to work jobs that make less money. There's more women in college now than ever before. Women choose these careers that pay less. The top 10 careers that make the least money are female dominated. Top 10 jobs that are that make the most money are male dominated. Science, math, and STEM. Engineering and tech. That's where the money is. Women choose not to go in those careers.
Okay,
and on
but
top of
why
that, women
is
dominate
that?
college
Why?
by choice.
that's not by choice.
Okay.
How are
I
you
think
gonna
it's
say
a
that?
bit of
Women
a
like didn't even
socioeconomic
get to vote
construct.
Hold
until
on.
like 50 years later than men. Like literally throughout history.
When you go
like,
to college, who declares the major? You, right?
yeah.
Okay, so it's your choice.
I think
All
what
right,
No,
she's
it's not
saying
by
is it's
choice.
deeper
There's
than
so
that.
much more.
Next.
That's what I'm saying. There's just so much more like deeper than what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. No.
It's just like
no.
how we
Alright,
women
go
get
ahead.
No, we're
taught
in a
to
fucking
love.
bizarre world. So you're telling me that you guys didn't choose your careers, you were forced into your careers that
No,
so
but we're
happen to pay you less?
molded. We're molded.
Correct.
Molded?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me
you're
just
correct.
give you an example, right? When we're kids, as a woman or as a female child, you're taught like, here's Barbies, here's cute things. Be a girl, you're so pretty. Oh, look cute. As a boy, you're like, go play in the mud. Go learn how to build this little bridge.
Correct.
You do get taught different things. It's not exclusive, but it is a thing. I grew up playing with a lot of boys, and I think I have a bit of a more alpha mentality, and I'm a bit more aggressive when it comes to business, and I have no fear when it comes to negotiating. And I read all the books about how to get more money, and like pitch anything, and these different books that could help me to stand up to men, because men and women do have different energies.
Yep.
And men are intimidating to women, and women do look to men as like, okay, this is an authority figure, because that's how we have been brought up. So when it comes down to these nuanced psychological things that kind of dictate what we end up choosing for ourselves, it's like what you get told you could be is what you become. If a woman was told from a little girl, you could be a scientist, you could work on a ship, you could do all these manly things, I'm pretty sure more women would end up choosing those career paths, and they would end up making more money. But it's still something that we have to break through as females to believe that we're able. And as a woman, we're still feminine and we're still attractive if we decide to get in the Marine Corps or do these dangerous jobs or work on those crabbing ships with the crazy waves and all that nonsense, right? So it's like we do get taught like, oh, you're so pretty, you should be in beauty, you should be in fashion, you should be doing nails, you should be doing hair. These more feminine careers get pushed on us more. And then when it comes to college or higher education, You know, it's like, and you also have to understand there is a boys club, right? So when you're going into as a career as a woman, if you want to get into tech, you have to understand and be okay with the fact that you're going to be surrounded by all these dudes, and you're going to have to be there with them, and you're going to have to differentiate yourself. You're going to have to prove yourself. You're going to have to stand up to them. You're going to have to negotiate harder. You're going to have to really show that you're worth the money that XYZ guy who's a weirdo and doesn't matter, but he's a dork, so we're just gonna pay him the 80K. But as a woman, you have to prove it, and it's not a fact. It's a truth. It is a truth. I've been working in tech. I've been working around a lot of dudes. I've been in male-dominated industries. I've been in construction, and you don't understand. Like you said, you've never been a man dating a woman, or vice versa. You've never been a woman trying to deal with all these dudes in these construction industries, and the way they look at you is completely different than if you're a dude. Like, how many guys... I had a dude drive me to a motel after working for him for 6 hours designing his house because he just thought I'm just some girl to fuck.
15.
Okay.
That's it. So you do have to deal with different things as a woman in those type of industries, and it's kind of like a deterrent.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I want to say this. So you were brought up a certain way, but you made choices to change, right? You read books. You read self-help books.
I did.
You
Yeah,
made
because I
choices,
saw
right?
past
Good.
it, but not all women get that opportunity.
No.
They don't
Correction.
always have the
No. Listen, you made the conscious effort to make changes, improve, and compete with men. Correct?
absolutely.
Guess what? A lot of women don't want to do that, and
Of
it's
course,
a choice.
yeah. Yep.
So you guys can't sit there and speak for all women because guess what?
That's true.
A lot of women don't want to work.
Yep.
A lot of women want a man that can provide for them. Most women, as a matter of fact, if pregnant, want their man to handle about 80% of the financial problems. Okay.
Yeah, because they're pregnant.
Okay, which is fine. We're not knocking it, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. It all comes back to choice. The problem is this, ladies. You want to be able to make your choices without consequences. But guess what? Men don't get that privilege because everything you just mentioned, I have to compete with men, and men have to compete with men too. Welcome to the fucking firewall. You have to compete just like us. It's just that you want some kind of special privilege for competing because you're a woman. And I'm telling you, it ain't going to happen because if you want to compete with men, guess what? It's not fair pay for all. It's fair pay for performance, not fair pay for all. A lot of women have this communitarian mindset that I work the same job, I should get paid the same. That's not the way the world works. Sounds good on paper with communism, but it doesn't work that way. Men live in a meritocracy. We live where performance matters. 9 out of 10 times when someone gets paid more, especially in a male-dominated environment, it's because they perform more. They work more hours, they did more sales, whatever it is. It's just that women want equal pay for equal job. That's not the way things happen, man. You got to perform, okay? So if you're going to compete with men who are willing to work more hours than you, that are willing to die to work, that don't have kids to
Not
worry
willing,
about,
because
etc.
pregnancy isn't.
But that's what I'm trying to say. They don't have, and it sucks for you guys that you might get pregnant or whatever. But that's what it is. You're competing. That sucks. That sucks.
It sucks.
But men want babies too. They want the women to have their babies.
But that's the point. It's all a choice, man. The thing is this: you guys want equal. You guys don't want equal opportunity. You guys want equal outcome, and that's not the way the world works, man. What you put in is what you get out. If you work less hours than a man, just because you have the same title, does not mean you're entitled to the same pay.
Who said you're working less hours? What if you're working the same hours?
Yeah.
A lot of women, that is a big, but here's the thing, that's a big factor in
women
why
don't
women
want
get
kids.
paid less.
Some
Because they
women
work less
can't.
hours, their performance isn't as good, they
But what
take
if
more
they work
time
the
off.
same? But what if they work the same?
Rarely
Now
does
what?
that happen. If it does, the
How
wage
is
gap
it
is,
rare?
that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you account for all these things, hours work, skills, hours experience, all these other things that come in that are very important factors in wage pay, the wage gap almost disappears. It almost vanishes when you compare apples to apples. It's not disagree. It's this is
one
fact.
quick point.
This is fact.
A lot of men do overtime because they have no time to go home to take for kids, whatever. But women have kids, so they have to go home for the
Men
kids
don't
early.
have the burden of raising children a lot of times. Women do. So you guys have to
But
focus
didn't
on
the
that.
men have the kids too with the women?
But
so
that's what I'm
don't
trying to
they
tell
have
you.
the
That's what I'm trying to tell
burden
you.
as well?
If you work, right, you're a single mom,
Yeah.
and you're competing with a man, but he has a family and he has a wife at home. He's going to be able to work more hours than you. Therefore, he's going to make more money than you.
Right, okay,
A lot of the
understand.
times, women compete with men that don't have the constraint of child rearing. Period. That's why you get paid less by choice. You can't complain about the way things are. It's not equal. It's equal. You guys want equal outcome, man. That's not how it operates. It's equal opportunity, and then it's on you to perform. And unfortunately, a lot of times, men outperform women in the job space. It is what it is.
Okay. Wait, no.
Like it's just like
Yeah.
you guys don't want to hear that.
We're good.
It's just like you know what I'm saying.
All right, we good.
And
Thanks,
I
ladies.
will,
Some of the
I will
stuff.
personally
Some
in the description box of this video, I will put all the links that debunk the wage gap that's been done for like 20 years. I can't believe we're even having this conversation right now in 2021.
I mean, you can find facts that pertain to yours, and I can find facts that pertain to mine.
Alright.
So it's kind of
Put it on your Instagram and tag it. All right, let's go.
I mean, it's just like I just can't believe it because like you strike me as someone that went to school and educated. Like
I did.
So then you should be looking at facts and not feelings.
I am looking at facts.
Women earn less money than men by choice.
That's
Okay,
not true.
let's go.
Versus
Let's
50
move
bucks.
on.
I don't give up, and you don't give up.
because you
She
just
got
no,
muted, but
'cause-
she's still talking.
no, like she's not. It's just like you just want to be right to the point that you will go to any extent, no matter how dumb you look on air.
I really don't. Number one, look dumb. That's rude. Number two,
I mean-
I don't know any of these people. Even if I did look dumb, like what is that? They're
You're
not paying my
arguing to
bills.
argue something that
I'm not
does
arguing to
not
argue.
exist.
We're literally having a conversation on your podcast, like,
Yeah, but like-
which are getting great views. Like we're
I mean, but
We're at 10,000 live viewers, by
for
the
no
way.
reason.
The wage gap doesn't exist, and the fact
Oh,
that you're
Chris.
arguing with me just
Yeah.
to argue, it's like
But you're doing
when
the
you know
same.
you're wrong, and I'm giving you fact why women
But I
make
think
less
you're
money.
wrong.
Right.
It's not
so there's
think.
no
Do you
right
know?
or wrong.
Yeah,
There's
so,
just
like, let's
No,
Maybe.
there is a right or wrong here. She is wrong. It's not think. I know you are wrong. I know,
I know
that the
you're
wage
wrong.
gap doesn't exist. You're just arguing to argue now.
I know it's right because I have looked at the facts too.
All right.
Low IQ, man. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
10,000 live viewers in the
Awkward.
building.
There we go.